This presentation covers about understanding the importance of timeline in 10th standard history. The timeline of Indian history from the year 1900 to 1920 is captured in this presentation. Partition of Bengal 1905. The decision of Partition of Bengal was announced by Lord Curzon, the then Viceroy of India, in July 1905. The partition came into effect in October 1905. Lord Curzon, the architect of the partition, knew that splitting Bengal would weaken their influence and divide the national movement. Instead of dividing the Bengali people along the religious line, partition united them. 1906, Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company was started. Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company was one of the first indigenous Indian shipping companies set up during the Indian independence movement. It was started in 1906 by V.O. Chidambaram Pillai to compete against the monopoly of the British Indian Steam Navigation Company. It sailed ships between Tuticorin and Colombo until it was liquidated in 1911. 1916 Home Rule League Lucknow Pact. The Indian Home Rule movement was a movement in British India on the lines of Irish Home Rule movement and other Home Rule movements. The movement lasted around 2 years between 1916 to 1918 and is believed to have set the stage for the independent movement under the leadership of Annie Besant and Balagangadhar Tilak to the educated English-speaking upper-class Indians. In 1921, All India Home Rule League changed its name to Swarajya Sabha. Champaran Satyagraha 1917. The Champaran Satyagraha of 1917 was the first Satyagraha movement led by Gandhiji in India and is considered a historically important revolt in the Indian independence movement. It was farmers' uprising that took place in Champaran district of Bihar in India during the British colonial period. The farmers were protesting against having to grow indigo with barely no payment for it. Kheda Satyagraha 1918. The Kheda Satyagraha of 1918 in the Kheda district of Gujarat during the period of British Raj is a Satyagraha movement organized by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. It was a major revolt in the Indian independence movement and it was the second Satyagraha movement after Champaran Satyagraha. Gandhiji organized this movement to support the peasants. 1919 Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. Rowlatt Act of 1919. The British colonial government passed the Rowlatt Act, which gave powers to the police to arrest any person without any reason whatsoever. The purpose of the act was to curb the growing nationalist upsurge in the country. Gandhiji called upon the people to perform satyagraha against this act. The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, also known as Amir Massacre, took place on 13th April 1919. A large but peaceful crowd had gathered at the Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, Punjab, to protest against the arrest of leaders like Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. In response to the public gathering, Commanding Brigadier General Dyer surrounded the Bagh with his troops. The Jallianwala Bagh could only be exit on one side as its other three sides were enclosed by buildings. After blocking the exit with his troops, he ordered them to shoot at the crowd, continuing to fire even as the protesters tried to flee. At least 337 people were killed and over 1,200 other people were injured, of whom 192 were seriously injured. 1920 Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement. The Khilafat movement or Caliphate movement, also known as the Indian Muslim movement, was a pan-Islamist political protest campaign launched by the Muslims of British India, led by Ali brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, to restore the caliphs of the Ottoman Caliphate, who was considered the leaders of the Muslims, as an effective political authority. 1905 Partition of Bengal. In 1906 Swadeshi Steam Navigation Company was started. 1916 Home Rule League Lucknow Pact. 1917 Chambaran Satyagraha. 1918 Kheda Satyagraha. 1919 Rowlatt Act or Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. 1920 Khilafat Movement, Non-Cooperation Movement. Thank you for watching this video.